Hi, this is Bob from Hobbyconcepts, and today we're going to talk about dual headlights in a Grand Hauler. Now, the way it comes set up from the factory, it only has a place for a single bulb. I'm going to show you how to drill it and cut it to put two bulbs in, which looks much better, and you'll be able to put in like high beams and headlights or whatever and operate them individually. It works with the Tamiya MFC system or any other kind of lighting that you want to do. So I'll show you how to modify the pieces, and if there's any parts required, I'll put links in the description. So here we go, dual headlights. Let's get started. Here's the pieces for the Grand Hauler headlights laid out. So you've got the back plate, the retainer for the LED, which just mounts right on here, and then the front piece that after these are mounted on the inside of the body, then this mounts on the outside and glues on and has the opening for the headlight. Now you can see that this has got a space for two lights in appearance, but here they put a sticker on it and no light. So we're going to convert this into dual lights. Now the first thing I do is, this is designed for a 5mm LED. 5mm LED slides right in. Whether you're using the Tamiya MFC or just your own LEDs for a buyer system or something else, a 5mm LED fits it. But they've necked down the opening here to even slightly smaller than 3mm, so you don't get the full effect of a 5mm LED. So the first thing I do is take a 3/16 drill bit, let's see, 3/16 here, and drill out this hole . So now we've got a full-size hole. You can see the difference. It's dramatic. Now it makes no difference what slides in from the back because the LED fits right in here. So now we have this nice big opening. We're going to get a much brighter headlight. Okay, I'm going to do that to both of these. I don't know if I could have picked a duller drill bit. All right. So those are drilled out. Step number one. Now I do that even if I was going to have a single bulb. The second thing is we want to add a second bulb. Now the way I do that is I take a small drill bit. Just grab one here. Doesn't matter the size really. And what I'll do is take this outer lens, and there's a notch here that fits in this slot to line it up. Okay, and then I will just go through the center hole and make a little mark here and then drill through. Alright, so what I've done is then mark the position of my second bulb, and I'll do that on the other side here. Mark it and then drill it through. So now you can see that it's pretty close here, but this works just fine. So then I'm going to switch back to my 3/16 drill bit. Grab a little piece of wood here so I'm not drilling through my bench, and then I'm going to drill through from the back side on both of these. Okay. So now I've got a space here for a second LED, right next to the first one. Okay, and that lines up with this mounting plate, but we've got to do the same thing here. We've got to drill a bigger hole. So where that small hole was, we're going to drill a 3/16 hole in the cover plate. Okay, so that's enough drilling. So now I've got a spot for an LED here, an LED here, and I've got my faceplate, which has a second hole in it now. Okay, now the second hole, you can take an X-Acto knife, you can trim it out as long as you leave some kind of a small lip around here for the lens to attach to. You can trim this out with your knife and just make a bigger opening, and I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll attach the bulbs. So I took my knife and I kind of augured those out. You really don't even need to. You can just leave a 3/16 hole. I'm going to go ahead and glue these lenses in now. So the main lens glues in from the back side. Has two little tabs that hold it. And then the other lens glues in from the front along the lip we left. Now it has a little pin that sticks up. So I cut that off. You can trim it off with a knife, whatever. And I'll show you why later. So we'll just use a little micro crystal clear here. And stick this down. The reason you can see that looks like there's a lot of glue, but of course it dries clear. So the reason I'm gluing these in now is so they will be dry later when we need them. But that's after the lights are installed in the truck. The other reason I'm gluing them in is that way I don't lose the lenses. Okay, so I can set those aside, they're ready to go. Now, back to our original lights. It's now time to install the lights in this bucket. Now the LEDs I'm using have a built-in resistor, so in order to use this attaching clip I have to cut this slot a little bit bigger. Just cut it with an X-Acto knife here. Just kind of open it up a little bit, and then the LED goes down here. This clip then fits over the LED. Yeah, might have to cut it even a little bit bigger. There we go. And that's held in with a screw. And that's the standard way of mounting an LED anyway. We'll get that mounted. Now the second LED And I don't care if you're using the MFC LEDs, they're the same. They give you 2 sets. So you don't want to push it through too far because the lens will hit it. So what you want to do is just stick it so it's just barely through the surface. Now I use a hot glue gun. Put a little glue around the outside edge of this here. And then stick the LED in. Now I stick it so it's just barely poking through. And then build up some more hot glue around the back side of it. Don't have to be pretty here. And we'll have our second LED in. And we'll set that aside and let that glue dry. And I'll install the lights on this other side. So now that this has got 2 bulbs in it, when we slide it in from the back side here, it doesn't fit anymore because the bulb over here needs to have some material cut away. So I just take a pencil and mark it. Now the lens will cover up whatever you cut away here, and you can do this after the body's painted. Before it's painted, doesn't really matter. And you can cut this with an X-Acto knife. I'll use a Dremel tool. Matter of fact, got my Dremel tool right here. We'll just cut that away, clean it up with a knife, and you can see it doesn't have to be pretty. And I got to cut a little bit more away. There we go. Now it fits in fine. You see the bulb there? When this glues down over the front side, it's going to cover everything up, and we're going to have 2 bulbs. This is still not dry, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side, and then after I get this body painted, we'll install them, see what they look like. So I painted this body, and you can see my little notches there that I cut out. So the headlights now just install absolutely like ordinary. You can see the LED here in the little notch, and so I'll go ahead and hold those on. It's basically just 2 screws that go into the back of the grill on each side. I wired these up just for testing purposes, so I've got my headlights here, and then I've got my what I'll call high beams right here, or both of them at the same time, so those are ready to hook up to whatever. If you've got an MFC, you would use the headlights and the fog light bulbs, and that gives you the dual headlights. Now I still have to glue on these lenses, and they just glue on here. I normally don't like to do that until I get the body all done and install it, because they get knocked off. So I'm not going to install them right at this second, but you can see that, like, power up the lights here. With both lights on, you can see that with this lens on, they still look very nice. And we've got dual headlights pretty easily. Just got to drill a few things and cut a little bit of the body away. So that is how you do dual headlights on a Grand Hauler. So give this video a thumbs up. That helps with the YouTube rankings. And I appreciate you all watching. You might subscribe. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.